light. This is moving at the speed of justice. This is moving at the speed of revolution and the transformation whose time has come. So take it away, Professor Butch Ware.
Bismillah. No, don't let Jill go off screen just yet. I'm going to tell just my version of when I knew that Jill Stein was the candidate for me. And it was when she said the words, cash reparations and dismantle the empire. My sister, you had me at hello. And I'm gonna tell you right now that if you follow me on social media, many of y'all may not know who I am. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself, but if you follow me on social media, then you know that I did not get into this fight to be no spoiler. We are going to shock the world, and we are going to hit them hard. I taught for 10 years at the University of Michigan, and I'm going to batter them in Michigan. I got my PhD from the University of Pennsylvania, and I'm going to batter them in Pennsylvania. We are going to hit them with a 1-2 punch that they ain't never seen. So I just wanted to hold you on screen to see your face when I told you that that was the moment that I knew. And now I'll just say a few words, and we'll start there. If you are gathered in this room right now, within the sound of my voice, if you watch a recording of it later, and you are sympathetic to all of the things that have been said in this room, it means that your heart is alive and awake, and you have compassion and empathy for the suffering of our brothers and sisters in humanity in Palestine. And you know that we do not need an agent of the carceral state and another white supremacist in blackface serving at the head of this empire. We need actual structural change. And in order for us to achieve that, we are going to need to fight. So I'm not here as a spoiler. We will fight them. We will make them desist in their oppression. We are at the dawning of a new era. Scales have fallen off the eyes in these last 10 months. People now perceive what American empire actually is, the way that it exports war, torment, suffering, brutality, and bloodshed to every corner of the globe, and then turns around and unleashes it on its citizens here in the United States. The empire abroad brutalizes us here at home. So we have no choice left to fight. Never in my life did I aspire to a political position. I am a scholar and I am a teacher. I've studied revolutionary movements and struggles, but I know this, that if I'm called into a fight, the fight for the struggle for freedom in our time, I am not going to back down from that fight. So you call on me and I come, and I'm at the service of everyone in this room. The Green Party is at the service of everyone in this room. We are here to win this fight, not to play games with these people. Muhammad Ali didn't go into the ring against Sonny Liston talking about being a spoiler. And the Black Muslim tradition that raised me, the Muhammad Alis of the world, the Malcolm X's of the world, were not about backing down from fights. Malcolm said, never let your enemy give you the measure of your possibilities for victory. Only a fool lets their enemy teach them. Only a fool. So for those of you who know me, you knew what I was going to say off the top. And for those of you who are getting to know me for the first time now, I'll just say a few words about my own story. A few, because the important part is just that you start to get to know me. I am at best a weapon in the hands of a merciful God, and we are going to fight right now. This isn't about me, but you need to get to know me. I was born the son of a locksmith with a 6th grade education and a teenage mother who was pregnant at the age of 15 and told to abort me before my birth by her high school guidance counselor. I never lived at the same street address for a calendar year until I was 8 years old, staying with relatives, couches, sometimes cars, sometimes battered women's shelter. I saw the cold, hard face of what systems of white supremacy and racial oppression can do to people. And this was in Chocolate City, Washington, D.C., the town of my birth, back before gentrification. It was 95% Black at that time. And I won't go into more details about the struggle. I'll start to tell you the story of what brought me to this venue today. As Jill mentioned, when I was 15 years old, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and I read it cover to cover in one night. I couldn't put it down. because Malcolm had been in such dark places, and look at what God lifted him to. Look at the inspiration that he has become, the Black radical struggle, the freedom struggle. Look at the universalism that he embraced at the end of his life. I wanted what Malcolm had at the end of that book. And so this story is true. I stayed up the whole night. I went to the library at my school. I checked out an English translation of the Quran. I read that cover to cover the next night. I converted to Islam before the end of the week, and I started schooling myself on the resistance tradition. And Malcolm taught me many things about where we are in our current moment. He taught me that the white liberal is a fox. They bare their teeth, and you think that they're smiling at you, but they are there to eat, and you are on the menu. And we know this to be the case of vote blue no matter who, okay? And of the wolf, and we must keep this red wolf in our sights, because their teeth are bare and ready to shred you at any moment. Our fight is with them too. The Dems fear us most, but we will take from MAGA, because when we bring a real working class agenda to the public light in a way that is communicated with clarity, the way that the Panthers did, the way that Huey Newton did, the way that Bobby Seale did, the people will respond. We are not leaving those votes on the table. We're not leaving those votes on the table. So he taught me how to read this, and that the duopoly is not the answer. We need another way. These purple fascists, because there's no difference between the red and the blue anymore. It's just purple fascism. Okay. They don't respond to anything except for a fight. So we will give them a fight in the tradition of Malcolm. Malcolm started my journey to become a historian of Africa because he told me to seek out knowledge of self and to go back to my roots. And I spent my teaching life studying the revolutionary resistance tradition on the African continent and in the diaspora, studying the spiritual traditions of my African ancestors, of Islam, of the indigenous traditions, because as it happens with many African Americans, both of my father's grandmothers are also part indigenous. This is our land too. And many people forget that, and we are willing to stand and fight for it. Land back. Can I get a witness from the congregation? Y'all can't clap. I mean, do something. Raise your hand, snap your fingers, say words, son, let's go. So all of this is to say that we are going to bring this fight to them on all fronts, and we are not backing down from this fight. So Malcolm educated me on how to become an educator, and now I'm trying to bring those lessons from successful revolutions in the past and the struggle against white supremacy in Africa and in the diaspora and in South Asia and in Latin America, and we are going to do a lesson in applied education. We are going to put this knowledge to work, because Jill Stein is the leader that we need in this time, and I am riding shotgun for my sister. Just watch. Last thing that I will say before I go on any further, because if you do follow me on social media, you know I can be mad long-winded sometime. I'm going to try to keep this brief. They told me 7 minutes, and I know I'm past them 7 minutes already right now. It is not, as our brother reminded us earlier, I think it was JB that mentioned this, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it is not so much about what we are fighting against, but it is about what we are fighting for. The other side uses a politics of fear. We use a politics of abundance. We have everything in our capacities to give humanity what it needs. If we dismantle this empire and put its vast resources in the service of its people, we can become a guiding light for humanity. We can make it live up to the promises that it made and has broken so many times. I would not have asked for this job, but I was not going back down from this fight. So I submit myself to you today, humbly for service, because y'all have been building this movement. I'm coming in late. I'm not a politician. I'm a scholar. Teach me, but you will find me a willing warrior with resolve in the cause of liberation. Peace and blessings to all of you.